Guys on a mission through the movieverse tonight. Chasing aliens, bad plots, and CGI that ain't quite right. Dave leads the charge with the captain's command. John's the rookie, still learning where to land. Shane drops beats that walk through time. Chad fixes tech with precision so fine. The Sci-Fi Guys. The Sci-Fi Guys.
Hello, we are the Sci-Fi Guys. I am Dave, and with me always is
Happy
Shane,
Star Wars
who's
Day.
John, and
I just
Chad.
want to
We
say how
are
long I
also
could
an
hold
audio.
that.
We are also an audio podcast too. Remember that, guys.
Yeah, but they can also be paused. It's fine.
Yeah, you can pause anything out there, but let's just say this is not the pause you want to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't want to dead air all the time.
True.
So
Very
yeah.
true.
Anyway, first of all, for those of you out there in YouTube land and internet land and audio podcasting land or whatever you want to call it, I uploaded a short today, so hope you guys enjoyed it. It's actually had more views than any of our movies put together.
Wow.
It's
Hey,
pretty funny.
well, maybe we'd garner
yeah.
some viewership through that.
Maybe we'll see. But yeah, no, today is May 4th. First of all, I want to apologize. We did Star Wars last week, and we should have waited and done it this week. I did
Just
not
a
even look at the calendar.
It's all
Just a
right.
slight oversight. It's fine. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool to do that on May the 4th. Be with you.
But you can always go
But,
back and watch last week's episode and then
Yeah.
watch
Yeah,
this one too.
yeah.
See,
We
will be a
did.
2-for-1.
We did Return of the Jedi last week, so yeah, go back and check it out, and see if you guys agree with our ratings and all the stuff that we talked about. We kind of did a little new format and all that, so it was definitely different
Yeah,
this
if you-
week.
if you want to keep going with the May stuff, you had 501st Day. It was May 1st, and then in about 2 days' time you'll have Revenge of the Sith. You want to go watch the Fascinating over all the Sith people if you like.
Well, honestly, I need to find some time. I want to see Maul. Maul has just been released on Disney Plus, and I listened to those Sci-Fi Guys, and because they get to see this stuff way before I do, so I listen to them. I'm like, see if they like it or not, because it's funny. Mac will say one thing, and then DT will say something else, and it's funny watching the two of them fight. But
Yeah,
they
I
both
was
seem
afraid-
to like at least the first 3 episodes. They said it was slow beginning. It did start slow, but by episode 4, it really picked up and it was good.
I was afraid that if I listened to them, they would give her a lot of Easter eggs. I didn't want to hear Easter eggs just yet till I watch it.
Yeah, no, they didn't really give anything, but just know that the first 3 episodes are a little slow. Just kind of stick with it, and then,
Slower than Andor.
probably on par, I'm guessing. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so
Yeah, but that's on par with modern storytelling.
yeah. I think the biggest thing that they were saying is the biggest argument is they probably should have made it episodic rather than what's the word? It's not episode. It's where one ties into the next, ties into the next.
Mhm.
I'm going brain fart right now. I don't know why. Anyway, series, like a series, not a series. Whatever it's
Like
called.
a
I'm sure
mini
it's
series?
cool.
Is that what you mean?
No. When
No, you're
the
talking
next
each episode is its own thing.
That's episodic, but when it goes to when one builds onto the next and builds onto the next, it's not syndicated. What's the word I'm looking for?
Cinematic.
No, that's Star. Whatever.
You lost me now.
It doesn't matter.
I'm not sure.
We all know what you mean.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll look it up here in a minute once who picked this movie out anyway?
Shane.
Shane did. Yeah. Shane picked it out. So first of all, let me move him
Into the driver's
over
seat.
here. Into the driver's seat.
What am I doing?
And the movie we're doing? Oh yeah, we haven't even said it, have we?
No, we haven't. It could be anything. Could be anything.
It could be anything, but it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
The original.
Yes.
Volume 1.
So, yeah. All right, Shane, just tell us, once I remove that from the stage, tell us just briefly about this movie. What was it about and everything?
Want a synopsis, basically?
Yes.
So what you're looking at is a unlikely band of ragtag heroes, vigilantes, however you want to think about it, that were never supposed to be together, whether they were fleeing from danger, whether they were fleeing from the law, whether they were just happenstance to get caught, but form a bond together to fight a major villain in the galaxy and end up being one of the greatest crews in the whole galaxy.
Yeah, fair.
Oh yeah, I'll go with that. I'm sorry, I was still looking up serialized. That's the word I was looking for.
We
There you
loop
go.
back to it. Loop back.
Serialized is what mall is. So I'm sorry. I had to look it, and I had to look it up because I was like, it was what Babylon 5 was, and I was like, what style was Babylon 5?
Lord.
Not episodic, So,
Mm.
so yeah, okay. All right. Let me see what's on my list. Okay. We're kind of unscripting some of this, and this is the unscripted part right here, especially that somebody jump in. What did you like about the movie? What did you dislike?
The thing,
I think whenever you're sorry, John, you go ahead.
see, this is why it's unscripted. See,
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, the thing I like most is, I mean, technically you're Thunder, so maybe you should speak first, but the soundtrack is probably one of the best of any Marvel films, and I do mean soundtrack. Now, even the normal soundscape is great, like the cinematic tones, everything behind it, the orchestral stuff, still fantastic. But the soundtrack with some of the best, like classic rock-esque hits through all of time, and then they carry that not just through this film, but like almost the whole trilogy of these three. But we watched this one, so this one really kicked things off. I think one of the best soundtracks out of any Marvel film, because most Marvel films don't do necessarily soundtracks. They might have some songs. There are songs here and there that hit, like, when Thor's coming down, and you just have the
And you got the
yeah. So like you have moments that are great, but I think throughout an entire film, this one hits the top, and so it makes it very entertaining. I also think this is where we saw Marvel hit stride on comedy versus seriousness, and that I enjoyed a lot. So between soundtrack and a good balance, and I mean a good balance of comedy versus serious,
Agreed.
one of the more enjoyable films for me.
Yeah, I can't say it much more than what John said. I remember watching all leading up to this, and then getting to Guardians of the Galaxy and watching it. And it's very where you're not watching Iron Man. It's got to be serious. I'm doing this, and then Captain America's I'm doing this. You get Chris Pratt that's coming from Parks and Rec, that knowing him from that series. Going into this, you had a lot of people that was maybe Parks and Rec fans had a very high expectation for Chris Pratt bringing the same funniness that he did in that TV series, in which he did. Very not as to the like he was, but he brought himself and made that role of Star-Lord or what is this? Star-Lord.
Star-Lord. Who's
Star-Lord?
Star-Lord, man. I mean,
Space Lord? No. But I agree. The music was great. Especially opening up like when you see him on the planet as an adult. He's got that one song that everybody's doing now.
Yep.
So it brought Marvel to comedy, not less serious action stuff. So, and mixed them all in.
Mm-hmm. I think the greatest thing about this movie was that it was so different in every single way than any of the Marvel movies. And I think that's what made it stand out. And I think that's what makes it stand out, in my opinion, as one of the better Marvel movies, is because it was so different than any of the others. John touched on it with the music. The music was so different than anything else you would have heard with a lot of the classic rock songs, but they fit so well and they fit the characters so well. Very timely. Even the lyrics and the styles fit perfectly. You had that mix of comedy and action, which was perfect. And I think a lot of the other Marvel movies tried to mimic that and didn't quite land it. But this one really did it perfectly. And I just think with everything being so different, this being, like we said earlier, just a ragtag group of people just kind of thrown together, but it worked. I think it was one of the better Marvel movies because it was different.
Yeah. I remember when this movie first came out, Google gave everyone, if you were a Google Music person, you got the soundtrack, the volume 1 soundtrack for free.
Yep.
You know, because I remember I downloaded it because but then Google Music went away and all that. So I was like, but and then you had to change it over to YouTube Music and all that. I was like, okay, not worry about it. But I have all that stuff anyway on other CDs and stuff back in the day. But yeah, no, the music was top notch. It really was. I mean, it was fun. And it wasn't all in your face. You know, sometimes you get the music overpowers what's going on. You know, like when they were up there, when Rocket was up there building stuff, you could hear in the background, the I'm your cherry bomb, but it wasn't really in your face. It was subdued. It was back. Rocket was the main thing. They wanted you to focus on Rocket, but still hear what was going on in the background.
Yep.
I want to say I'm gonna steal a phrase from Mac from those Sci-Fi Guys, because Mac always I remember he talked way back when about Star Trek for the Voyage Home, as he called it, the perfect movie. And of course I tried to rebuttal him, and we're still friends. We argued, but we're still friends.
Yep.
I would say this is the perfect movie. The reason I say that is because it gives you enough background on each of the Guardians to understand what their motivation was in the first place.
Yeah.
But yet it still gave you just not enough to where you're like, I want to know more. They threw little crumbs,
That's a good way to put it.
I'm glad we didn't bring Quinn, to his dad, because he was a total a-hole, or whatever, things like that, little crumbs. And then you're like, well, who was his dad then? Okay, well, he was part alien. Wait a minute. Okay. And then Gamora, with, her family was killed, but then Thanos adopted her, and, things like, just, you want to know their backstory, what happened to them. But it still gave you enough where it was like, boom, okay, this was, you understand, you get the motivation behind Rocket, you get the motivation behind Dax, or Yeah, Jax, whatever his name
Drax.
was.
Drax.
Drax, thank you. Golly.
Drax
I was
the
gonna say
Destroyer.
Batusta, you know.
Yeah.
Dax. Yeah, Dax was a character in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
So
And Jax was in Mortal Kombat. So
true. Okay. I will say you know me and plot holes. There's no way you're gonna keep that single cassette working for 30 years without it breaking somehow and getting tape it and having to. I mean, I grew up on cassettes. I had cassettes all the time. And
now, who says
there's
he didn't
no-
have spares though? I mean, who says he didn't have multiple?
It was his mom. His mom
mom's.
gave him one. And then how in the world are you going to make a cassette player onto the
Last.
ship when he has his Walkman and it wasn't taken apart? So again, those are
Well-
just little things that just
The batteries. Where do you keep the how do you keep it playing?
I'm sure batteries they probably had some kind of they would
Not
have,
that.
but yeah, double A's.
I mean, that's basic soldering, even if they had weird alien batteries.
I'm just thinking you're talking physical media. You're not talking digital media. You're talking physical media. And I remember tapes would stretch, you know, or they would
yeah.
break, or
Well,
you'd have
even
to
then,
take a
that's
pencil and
fucking
you know
making
cut
it into space. Magnets. Hello. Like, it's literally a
Yeah.
magnetic strip. You run it through an atmosphere or a magnetic field, it's gone. It's shot.
True.
Yeah, I mean that was the only thing I could say negative about this movie, and I wouldn't even call that negative. I just would call that they wanted him from the 80s and have his mom's 70s playlist, so that's how he got away with it. And I'm
Mhm.
sorry, the little foamy things on his headphones would not have lasted either.
No, they would not have.
Just saying, you know,
They would
those things they
would've-
lasted about a year, maybe 2 if you're lucky,
Mhm.
and then they just disintegrated. Especially if you're wearing them a lot. I know. I can tell you.
Needed some beats
trust
or
me.
something.
You know. Is there anybody else have anything else they want to throw here? Negative, positive, you know. I
think
love
we
the ship.
covered
I
Yes.
really did love the ship.
Yes.
It was so unlike one, of course, it's orange and blue. So, you know, that's right, Shane. You know,
That's right.
the rest
That's
of them are
right.
muted, so we
Go
can do
get
that.
Go get
Look at John. John took his camera off. He's like, nope.
Yeah.
oh, Lord. Chad got the background.
Yeah,
Hey, I will
remove Chad
say-
I'm just going to remove Chad. So there you go.
We'll say one thing too when we talk about the cinematography, and I'll let John kind of chime in on this. I loved what they did during the prison fight scene, where they were really kind of going in and out and close ups and everything. I thought they did a great job with that. That was such a cool scene there, and just how they worked the camera shots and everything. I thought that was really, really good. What do you think, John?
And key, they didn't make you dizzy in the process.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't.
That's a
trapped
big
in the
thing. Yeah.
fight, and you didn't get lost in the fight. You didn't get dizzy. I think also, again, you remember that golden era of CGI we talked about? I still
Mhm.
think we're in it at this point.
Yeah.
Nothing felt crazy. Like, you know it's CGI just because you know what you're watching. But at the same time, it never really felt like it. And I
Yeah.
think,
Rocket
again,
was
golden
all
era.
CGI. And he didn't, but you would,
It
you
didn't
would
feel
say,
that way.
okay, he's a real character, you know.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, was he a puppet? Was he what? But he was all CGI. you know.
all CGI.
I'm
Well, so was Groot. You know,
I'm
so-
Groot. I find it funny that Rocky was the only one that can really. Oh yeah, he says this to understand Groot. I am Groot.
I think that kind of goes back to here we are talking Star Wars. That goes back to, and I think that was a nod to Han Solo and Chewbacca,
Chewbacca. Yeah.
where you know Chewbacca would be like, and then Han would be like, laugh it up, fuzzball. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about, you know,
Uh-huh.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of it. You know,
Yeah.
I think they were giving a nod back to the original Star Wars, but at the same time, they wanted something they wanted to keep it simple where when he's like, I am Groot, I am Groot, and Peter's just like, really? That's all you're gonna say is I am Groot? And then Rocket has to explain why it is.
Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot, Groot.
Mm-hmm.
And then just considering the fact that, okay, one thing that does make me mad about this film, the fact that Vin Diesel got paid so much.
Yes.
Just repeat the line.
For that one line.
He had to repeat it with inflection, but he just had to repeat that line.
That's right.
We are Groot. So yeah. How much? So we think about it. I am Groot. We. So he got paid all that money for 4 lines, 4 words.
Yeah,
is all he said.
Hold on, let's see.
Let's say with different inflections. So that
12 million to 15 million per appearance. So you're looking at 5 to 6 mil per word, or 4 to 5 mil per word.
Golly,
pretty good gig.
Yeah.
Pretty good gig.
That's a great gig,
really
man.
good gig. That's a really good gig.
I can see 4 words. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, while we're here, let's go ahead and rate this then. Okay, this is part of the show. We're going to rate this on a scale of 0 to 5 lightsabers. Shane picked this movie out, so he gets to go first.
This is actually an easy one for me. I wouldn't go quite as far as Dave said as this being the perfect movie, but I think it was really darn good. I think you talk about characters. I think you talk about plot, music especially. I just think the charming thing about this movie is that it was so different and it was just so fun. So fun. Action, comedy, everything. It's a 5, hands down. Laugh it up there, Chad. Laugh it up.
Well, I knew you were going
Chad.
there. Well, I'm going to probably be there with you, Shane, but it was the perfect movie for the Marvel. It kind of separated the seriousness and gave the comic community side of it. Think about it. When they came in the event, when they, Thor Ragnarok, when they came in and met Thor, they still brought the same intensity and comedic relief. Rocket didn't like Thor. Like, what are you talking about? So this has got to be a 5 without what the CGI they did because of Rocket and Groot, especially him regrowing at the end. So it's a 5.
Okay, John.
I mean, I would really hate to change anything here. And I'm not going to because it's a 5. I was, in fact, going to try to pull it in the background real quick where I could just move my head and be like, bam, 5. But we'll just count the 5 pops over here as my 5s. So, yeah, 5. Easy 5. Easy 5.
I only see 4 pops.
Easiest 5 I've given.
There's one above R2. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't see that one.
So
See, that one's in the wrong place. That one should be lined up with the other ones.
That says 4.5.
That's 4.5.
Wrong. That's 5.
I call it
4.5, John.
You ask any child to count that, they're going to count 5 pops. All right, there's 5.
They are going to
You
count.
know what?
I
count at 7. There.
I agree with John. And all you guys, everything you said. I said earlier, it is a perfect movie. I mean, this is a 5, hands down. And I go back to last week. I mean, we did Return of the Jedi, and I'm not going to tell y'all what we rated it because you need to go watch the video. But this was a better movie. It really was. So
yeah. If you want to see where you're rated, like and subscribe and notify,
or be vaporized.
Oh gosh, guys, you guys are hilarious. What was I doing on here? I accidentally pulled it off, and then I put the screen back. Oh, that's right, because I gotta go do. I got the questions on here. I gotta find. There's the questions. Okay. Where are we at? Yeah, we're at that part where we're going to ask these spiritual questions now. This is a new part of the show that we're doing. And okay, so what moral or ethical questions does this film raise about creation, life, or destiny?
I think destiny plays a part in this, and I think it really talks about, like we said, these people never should have been number one, able or called to do what they did based on their past, based on their present. I mean, some of them were running from the law, some of them were trying to avoid being killed by different things and everything. But they were put together and it did so much good. When really they should not have been successful. And I think that is when you talk about when you talk about the Christian faith and you talk about redemption, that's the perfect picture of it. None of us should be where we are. None of us should be able to do what we've done. It's all by the grace of Jesus Christ. And it's just cool to see, looking back on those things. There's an old song, well, not really old. There's a song from the 2000s. It's called My Story by Big Daddy Weave. If you haven't listened to it, listen to it. But it talks about how our story depicts what Christ has done for us. And I think when you think about what this specific group of people, that's the perfect depiction of a redemption story of, like, they should not be where they are. They should not be successful together, number one, or separate, but just they were able to do great things together. And it was just a cool thing.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I was going to mention about what was the question? Moral or ethical questions about the film raise about creation, life, or destiny. I know this particular movie doesn't get into it that much, but about where does Quinn's father relate into all this? And of course, being with his mother, he was really upset. She was dying. He knew she was dying and didn't want any part of that. And then was abducted right afterwards. Let's do we want to talk about the moral implications of abducting a child, and then raising him? I mean, just.
Well,
I mean, we could go all day on that. I mean, he turned out good, sort of
in the long run.
Because they saved the day, but they still were criminals in the first place. So.
Well, I think that raises the other question too, which is, can bad people do good things? And I think under the right influence, technically. But ultimately, no, because they're still criminals. We're still going to see them commit more crimes. They're still going to be, quote unquote, bad. But at the same time, I think that also anchors us again back to faith and the fact that, like, bad people can't do good things without Christ. Like, you're still going to revert back to bad at some point, no matter what. But I think overall, there you could also go into, like, alien life. What about that? You can go into this bigger redemption arc in general. It's great because they do and are redeemed at the end of our story. And I don't know, there's little aspects here and there, but the big thing I noticed was, can bad people do good things? And technically, sure, even a broken clock is right twice a day, but you can't sustain that without outside influence.
That's a good point. Good point.
You look at the moral and ethical things, and everybody was in this team. Look at Gamora, that she was Thor's stepdaughter, and then was serving with
Thanos. Not Thor.
No, I'm sorry, Thanos.
TH,
Yeah. But
one has long, flowy hair and a beer gut. No,
he's a Georgia fan. I mean, give him a break.
See, hold up. The thing is, you go with the UF up there, they want to go always with the Thor and Love and Thunder. But get back to Gamora, was with the moral and ethical side. Once she saw the cylinder cylinder had and what it was. Yeah, we can't give this to anybody. We can't sell it. We need to give it to the authorities where they can store. Now, hindsight is 2020. We all know where this what it's going, who's going to get it at the end point of this. So, but Gamora, with her ethical and morality, pull Quinn to see the light, see the good side of where we need to do this. So you gotta think, going back to the spiritual and the thing. I know Gamora. Thing is, she's Paul. She's right there, dragging, putting people into the fault to follow the good, not always sacrifice the bad. You don't have to do this. So I think Gamora showed in this question showed what the morality and the ethical side of this could be, and throughout the series, she's always the level-headed one.
Yeah, definitely of the group, she's definitely
it's just
the
because
most
she doesn't have.
one.
Oh wait, wrong one.
Yeah, wrong one,
She's
buddy.
green because she's
Nebula.
green.
Yeah.
I know, but Nebula's
Yeah.
more level-headed because she has no hair.
That's fair.
Yeah, but Nebula tried to kill her.
Yeah.
Context.
I didn't say wise. I said level-headed. I'm speaking very literal here.
I guess so. All right, let's go to the next question. The next one is, how do characters express faith, whether it's in themselves, in others, or in something beyond?
I think they really drive the faith in themselves on. Now, it starts off. Well, I don't know. There's just a general confidence amongst all members of the group throughout the film, and we understand as it goes on that as confident as they are, they're really not as I don't know, great as they would act. I guess they put on a good outward face. They have plenty of faith in themselves, though. I mean, even just thinking about the prison escape, they're like, yeah, we'll do it. We got this perfect plan. We'll make it. Then they get into it. It all falls apart almost immediately. And then they still get out of it. So, like, they build on their own self-faith, but at the same time, it's like, should it really be there? Because y'all are just falling into, like, luck half the time. Like, I don't think y'all should really be as confident as you are.
What you got to see that Rocket said, "Hey, I need that guy's leg." Gave it to Quinn to go do it. Like, to get the guy that's going to probably ruin the system. Go over there and do this for me.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think one of the parts about what was it? Destiny? No. Let me go back to the question. Yeah. Express faith in themselves and others or in something beyond. I think all of that wrapped up is when Quinn grabbed the Infinity Stone and was holding on to it, and then the others were like, and then they just kept grabbing each other, putting it either in their hand or holding on to them to the next guardian or what have you, just to like, okay, we're with you, we have faith in you, we know you can do this, but we're here to support you. I think that was part of it, a big part of it. On the opposite end, I think Thanos did not have faith in any of his minions. Zero. I mean, it just, he was like, okay, hey, I'm giving you this one shot. If you don't get it, you know what's going to happen to you and your entire world, whatever. So, I mean, I think this was a good movie showing both sides of positive faith and negative faith.
That's true.
Or even just the self-reliance. You look at the Gratz. He's a Thanos, or who is he?
I can't remember the other villain's name.
Rowan?
Roland?
Ronan.
Hey, he killed
SG1 character, Ronan. Okay.
Yeah. he killed my
SGA.
Yeah, it's not one. Get it right.
It was Stargate Atlantis. Sorry.
Thing is, they killed my wife and kid, and then you saw him at the end. Thanos is the one that really did call the shot. So He's more self-determined as he's trying to revenge, and he realized I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
When everybody realized they can't do it by themselves, they got to fight together. That's what brought the faith into it. That's when you look at it. That's to me. That's what once Quinn grabbed the Infinity Stone was doing it. Oh, we all got to help each other out, and that's the moment turned.
Yeah. I think also the faith in each other came from the willingness to sacrifice. When you think about what Dave was saying about Quinn grabbing the Infinity Stone, he really was not doing that in a way saying like, oh, I'm going to grab this, but they're going to help me. He grabbed it as a way to actually protect them and protect everybody else. And then they noticed the sacrifice that he was making and they joined in. And that's kind of what made it happen. But again, that trust came from sacrifice.
Yeah.
Or a willingness to sacrifice, I should say.
Yeah. Well, if nobody else has anything else they want to add in this, let's fix or improve. I don't think we need to fix this movie. Is there anything that you guys want to improve on this movie? I do have a couple. I'll be honest. Even though I said it was the perfect movie, I would like to. There's tweaks that you can always make. I'll just throw this. I'll throw this out there. One, again, it was a plot hole. It drove me nuts about the whole cassette thing. Push him forward just a little bit in time where he had a CD, a homemade CD. That would have fixed all of that. Just a little bit more with a CD. You know, that's only we're talking like 5 years. You know,
yeah, 5 years. There was what 88 when he got abducted.
Yeah, I thought it was 88. I was gonna say I think I had my first CD player when I in the it was like 89, 88, somewhere in there. So I mean it was close.
CDs was coming out around about in the 90s, but it wasn't mass produced like what for music. Now
I remember that they were around before 90. I can tell you before 91, they were definitely around because in 91 is when I enlisted and I already had a portable CD player and several CDs. So we're talking okay, let's split years. Let's just say 1990, 2 years. 2 years different. Just push it forward 2 years, and I think that would fix a lot of that. And then if you're gonna bring Footloose as a reference, holding on to a hero would have been so perfect at that last fight scene.
Fair.
You know, or even that's what he should have been singing when he was doing the dance off or something, you know.
Yeah, the thing is like, oh, I'm gonna make this be the hero of Footloose dancing to like, oh my god.
And the best part though is, I mean, I know we're not talking about here, but they even do the Christmas special. It was a Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a Christmas special where they came to Earth and they abducted Kevin Bacon. They actually came and got Kevin Bacon because they were like, "You're the greatest ever," and he's like, "I'm just an actor, man. Come on." But they were like, "No, Quinn said you were the greatest and ever," you know. So. But yeah, no, I think that was the only two. I mean, again, they were minute fixes, you know, not fixes. I'm sorry, improvements,
tweaks,
because they really were not a fix because there wasn't anything wrong with this movie, you know.
Or even showing him fits in the cassette with the number 2 pencil.
No, I mean, John mentioned earlier, I mean, anyone into science, you know, once you go out of space, you're getting magnetic fields and all that. That's just going to wipe those things empty. They're going to easily, you know, at least with compact disc. I mean, it's you could have done the same thing. You could have had, you know, because I remember we used to make our own, you know, and you write on there, okay, you could have just said Mom's Awesome Mix Volume 1 or whatever. Which I don't think I mean, would you ever write Volume 1 on your first one? Here, that's another tweak. You would never do that because you make one and then the next one would be Volume 2. You never go back and write Volume 1 on the first one. It's just, that's what it is. It's just the awesome tape or awesome mix tape.
That's fair.
How many of you guys ever made? Well, never mind. You guys are all young. You know, no.
I did.
Hold up.
Rude.
Y'all actually made
this is how I got
mixtapes.
it's how I got my first computer virus. Good old LimeWire days, and I'm sitting here trying to make.
Oh, you were a
make a little
Napster guy,
CD.
weren't you?
No, LimeWire.
See, I don't remember LimeWire.
Because I was like 10, didn't realize it was illegal.
But
And people were just
made
like,
made
"Oh,
mixtapes,
free
but you
music,"
made
and
them
I
on
was like,
CDs.
"No, we did cassettes too." I remember setting up 2 radios,
Yes.
one to play a cassette and one to record a cassette,
Yep.
and setting them in front of each other and letting it just go until I got songs
yeah.
on it. I've done it. I've done the whole thing. I've done every bit of this.
Oh yeah, and then you're sitting there. I remember as a kid waiting. Okay, the DJ's talking. Okay, am I gonna get a good song? And then they're like, then they stop, and you're like, record. Like, okay, I got one without the DJ talking. Yes, all right. It is funny.
And then he starts talking again.
Yeah, and then they do that. It's funny. They actually there was a song from SCTV. They're the ones that kind of were. I think I mentioned it before. They're equivalent to Saturday Night Live, but they were done in Canada. And they had the McKenzie brothers, 2 guys that all they did was drink beer. They love beer, and they were from, the Great White North. Hey, take off, man. Well, they made a song called "Take Off," but at the intro of it, they're like, "Hey, be quiet. This is where the DJ talks." Oh, okay. They actually put that into their song, so because they knew it was coming up. But I guess that's it. That's our show tonight. We appreciate everyone for watching. Thank you. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff that Shane was mentioning earlier. Go check out our short that we just did for May the 4th be with you. And yeah, until next time. Peace.
Crash and burn.
These Sci-Fi Guys is an independent broadcast and is not affiliated with this movie or TV series. We would love to hear from you. Please contact us by leaving a comment below or by emailing us TheseSciFiGuys@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, or share this podcast with someone else who enjoys science fiction. Subscribe or be vaporized.